Hey, you. Yeah, you. Welcome to the Malaka podcast.
The Great One. Ladies and gentlemen, when I refer to the Great One, obviously, without a doubt, I'm referring to Mr. 99 himself, Wayne Gretzky, possibly one of the best hockey players of all time. I'm not going to lie to you, I still consider Bobby Orr, in my personal opinion, the best hockey player of all time. But Wayne Gretzky, what this man has done with a pair of skates is just absolutely amazing. At 6 feet, 185 pounds, that is 84 kilograms in the States, if you're listening. In Canada, we go by pounds. The point is, what this man has done for the game of hockey and the excitement he's created for future generations is just amazing. Now, according to good old Wikipedia here, his middle name is Douglas, which I had no idea. But it also says he's a Canadian former professional ice hockey player and former head coach. Sure, he was a head coach for a little while, but, then again, Michael Jordan played for the Wizards. It doesn't matter. The main thing is what this man did for the game of hockey. He played 20 seasons in his NHL, that stands for National Hockey League, for 4 teams from 1979 to 1999, nicknamed the Great One. But he's also been called the greatest hockey player by many sports writers, players, and the NHL itself. Now, how did Wayne Gretzky get the name the Great One? I mean, you got to be pretty great to be the one, but how did he get that name? I have no idea. I've tried to do my research with me and my team here, and we can't find anything. But sometimes someone is just so great that they call them the Great One. It's like Snoop Dogg said on GGN News. They named him the Great One. 99. Bitch. Jackie Gleason was also called the Great One. Is there any similarity there? I don't know. Most people listening to this don't even know who Jackie Gleason is. Shame on you. I'm going to get to that later or someday. The point is, sometimes a nickname just comes and it just, goes. But this one stuck. If anything, the name has stuck so long that when a new player enters the NHL, they call him the next one. Now, the next one refers to as if a player is just about to enter the league, they think he's going to be the next superstar. Obviously, it comes from the Great One, Wayne Gretzky. That's how high he set the bar. Mr. 99. How did he get 99? I don't know that one either. But I was able to find some information, and apparently what happened was back in the day, he was just playing as a young lad, and he wanted to go with the number 9. Now, for those of you who don't know, Wayne Gretzky always looked up to Mr. Hockey himself, Gordie Howe. And if you don't know who Gordie Howe is, Wayne Gretzky says he's one of the best players of all time. And there's a famous picture with him. He's just 10 years old, and Gordie Howe has a stick around his neck. And it's almost like being knighted. Like right there. I mean, like, how cool is that? Right there, he's basically just saying, you know what? This is for you, kid, one day. And 45 years later, they actually took the pick again as he was older. So they stayed pretty close friends until Gordie Howe passed. Rest in peace. And someone else on the team had the number 9, and he's like, all right, I'll just double up. So there you go, 99. Wayne Gretzky and Prince have something in common. Well, sort of. Anyways, Gretzky is the leading scorer in NHL history with more goals and assists than any other player. Now just think about that for a second. His last game was all the way in April in 1999. So 20 years later, no one has still come close to this record. I mean, who knows? Maybe one day, but still, to hold a record for 20 years is, well, it's pretty kick-ass. I mean, eventually it's going to happen again, but, until then, he's still the great one. He garnered more assists than any other player, scored total points, and is the only NHL player to total over 200 points in one season, a feat he accomplished 4 times. Now, let me put that in retrospect here if you're not a hockey fan. When you have an average hockey team, you pray that you have at least one or two players that average anywhere between 75 to 100 points. You get over 100 points, you're considered an all-star. You can basically write your own paycheck and spend the rest of your life on your back. Now, 200 points. Holy shit. I mean, this is just amazing. And he did it 4 times. 4 times. 4 times! In addition, Gretzky tallied over 100 points in 16 professional seasons, 14 of them consecutive. At the time of his retirement in 1999 and persisting through 2017, he holds 61 NHL records, 40 regular season records, 15 playoff records, and 6 All-Star records. And he did all this by being Canadian. I just want to point that out to everybody out there. Just saying. It says here he was born and raised in Bradford, Ontario, Canada. Planet Earth. Gretzky honed his skills at a backyard rink and regularly played minor hockey at a level far above his peers. Now, it seems like every single great hockey player was so devoted to play hockey. Like, this is, guys, this is how we survive in the winter. I remember back in the day, my buddy even made a mini rink in the back of his yard. And it wasn't a big yard. You know, we're not talking farmland country here. You know, maybe, let's say, 15 by 20, something like that. He was on skates. I didn't know how to skate. I still don't know how to skate. I'm half embarrassed to say that. But at the same time, I'm an excellent walker. The point is, we had the best times. And it was so cool the way it was set up. We had the lights. I mean, like, back then it was like our NHL. And when you're a kid growing up, you know, that's how you practice. I mean, you know, not a game that I go out there and just, you know, not give my all. Sorry. The point is, you go out there and you have a fun time. And that's it. That's what it's like being a kid in Canada. Just having fun in your backyard. And Wayne Gretzky, you know, his dad was the coolest too, you know, like always supported him. And, you know, he's like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just build a rink. Let's have some fun. And it's like, you know, Bruce Lee. I mean, I'm sure, you know, when he was a kid, he trained in his backyard there at a very young age. I mean, this is how these guys like harness their skills. So that's pretty cool. Despite his unimpressive stature, strength, and speed, Gretzky's intelligence and reading of the game were unrivaled. Now that's very true, because if you ever see Wayne Gretzky play, like, I always noticed, like, every time Gretzky played, it's almost like, I'm not saying he was like crouching down or everything, but he was like a sniper out there. I mean, like, you know, like I said before, he wasn't a tall guy, you know, he was only 6 feet, you know. I mean, a lot of times that doesn't really matter in hockey. I mean, if you're smaller, you're faster on skates, blah, 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 blah. We all know that. But when he was on the ice, like, he would just, you know, look for the next opportunity. And, like, he'd always be one of these guys that would just know where the puck is going to go, you know. And a lot of it is just instinct. A lot of it is just getting to know the players on the ice and how, the movement is going, throughout the game. But he just always seemed to be at the right place at the right time. And a lot of times, like I said before, like you can't teach that. You just have to, sometimes it's just instinct. And believe me, it pissed off a lot of goalies. So, that is something that I always remember from Wayne Gretzky. He was adept at dodging checks from opposing players and consistently anticipating where the puck was going to be and executed the right move at the right time. Thank you, Wikipedia, for agreeing with me. I really appreciate that. Gretzky became known for setting up behind his opponent's net, an area that was nicknamed Gretzky's office. Now, that is very true. A lot of times, when you think of a player going behind the net, you can kind of anticipate, okay, he's playing something, but you don't have a lot of time to think. It's not like the Mighty Ducks. No one's gonna yell out "Flying V." You gotta act quickly. I mean, you probably got maybe 2 seconds tops. But Gretzky was a really smart guy. He knew how to read the ice. And he was just awesome at setting up plays. In 1978. Gretzky signed with the Indianapolis Racers of the World Hockey Association, also known as the WHA, where he briefly played before being traded to the Edmonton Oilers. When the WHA folded, the Oilers joined the NHL, where he established many scoring records and led his team to 4 Stanley Cup championships. Now, from what I heard of Wayne Gretzky, he absolutely loved playing in Edmonton. He described playing in Edmonton as almost like just like being home, basically. I mean, you would literally see the same people all the time at the game. I mean, Edmonton is it's a decent sized city. It's a great city, but the wintertime, not a lot to do. I mean, it's like Calgary. It can get very cold, sometimes minus 30, minus 40. God only knows how much lower you can go. And it gets to a point where, a lot of people just connect with hockey. And the Edmonton Oilers are a big part of Edmonton. And when you have one of the greatest prospects starting to establish himself as a true NHLer, and you get to see him play like almost on a regular basis, whether it's on TV or live, it is just a phenomenal feeling. And I would have loved to see a Wayne Gretzky back in the day just play. I mean, they had the best team in the league, one of the best teams in the league. I mean, I think Don Cherry would disagree. I think he says the late 70s Montreal Canadiens. I'm a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. I'm not going to admit to shit about the Montreal Canadiens. But I honestly believe that the 1985 Edmonton Oilers were probably the best team of all time. And not a lot of people will disagree with me. You got Wayne Gretzky. You got Mark Messier. You got Yari Curry. You got Glenn Anderson. You got Grant Fuhr. What the fuck more do you need? Paul Coffey. Yeah, you know what? We'll throw some coffee in there. Why not? Perfect. I mean, what more do you need? And you're wondering why these guys won 4 Stanley Cups? Really? And like he would love it. Like he'd go there and like people would know it. Like he would know the people's names. And then that changed. Gretzky's trade to the Los Angeles Kings on August 9th, 1988 had an immediate impact on the team's performance, eventually leading them to a 1993 Stanley Cup final. And he credited the popularized hockey in California. Of course he did. Who the fuck cared about hockey in California? Remember a couple years ago when the LA Kings won? They showed a part of the route there. There was, I mean, you can see this shit on YouTube. Go on there. Look at the parade when the Kings won, okay? There's like maybe 2 or 3 people. Like, it looked like a joke, okay? Now, again, I get it. It's hot. You got the Lakers, you got baseball, football, whatever. I get it. But, where do stars go? Where do, potential stars go? They go to LA. That's it, And I don't know, maybe it was written amongst the stars, literally. But he went there and he made hockey way more famous for the States. Gretzky played briefly for the St. Louis Blues before finishing his career with the New York Rangers. Gretzky captured 9 Hart trophies as the most valuable player, 10 Art Ross trophies for the most points in a season, 2 Conn Smythe trophies as playoff MVP, and 5 Lester B. Pearson Awards, now called Ted Lindsay Award, for most outstanding player as judged by his peers. He led the league in goal scoring 5 times and assists 16 times, won the Lady Byng Memorial Trophy for sportsmanship and performance 5 times, and often spoke out against fighting in hockey. Now, this is just, I mean, you can't imagine one player doing this in his career, but he did it. After his retirement in 1999, Gretzky was immediately inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Yeah, no shit. Making him the most recent player to have the waiting period waived. Again, no shit. The NHL retired his jersey number 99 league-wide, making him the only player to receive such an honor. First of all, who the fuck would have the balls to take on 99? I mean, there's no way. It's like if someone took on the number 23 in basketball. No one's going to do it. It's such a distinctive number. When you think of 99, you automatically think Wayne Gretzky. Is it possible to buy the rights for a number? No? Okay. I'm sure he could afford it if it was possible. But again, he owns that number for life. Gretzky was one of 6 players voted to the International Ice Hockey Federation's IIHF Centennial All-Star Game. Gretzky became executive director for the Canadian national men's hockey team during the 2002 Winter Olympics, in which the team won a gold medal. In 2000, he became part owner of the Phoenix Coyotes, and following the 2004-2005 NHL lockout, he became the team's head coach. In 2004, Gretzky was inducted into the Ontario Sports Hall of Fame. In September 2009, following the Coyotes' bankruptcy, Gretzky resigned as head coach and relinquished his ownership share. In October 2016, he became partner and vice chairman of Oilers Entertainment Group. Back where he started. I love it. It's just full circle of life. I love it. But anyways, yeah, I mean, he did the whole Phoenix thing and, the Rangers and St. Louis and, everyone's like, all right, that's cool, I guess, I mean, what player wouldn't want to be a coach eventually, A lot of players do it. They could become sports commentators, part owners in a club. Who knows? You gave it a shot. It's all right. Went on St. Louis. Okay. Went on the Rangers. Okay, sure. Although he did say that was his best day of his NHL career when he went on the Rangers. It is cool though. I will give him that. I mean, to finish, in a major city like New York, I mean, that's got to be a big event. That's pretty cool. But I mean, me personally, I'm always going to remember him for Edmonton and of course the Kings. As a fellow Leaf fan, yeah, I'm pissed off all the time. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm just saying in general. I like to just briefly say that we all know Wayne Gretzky could have been a Leaf, at one point, after the Kings, We all know this. You know, the Malakias that own the supermarket. You know who I'm talking about. He stopped Gretzky from coming here. He couldn't afford him. Yeah, he couldn't afford him. Okay, yeah, the Leafs are $1 billion franchise. Okay. Oh, and what ended up happening? 93, they ended up winning the cup. Of course, That's one of the teams they beat. The Leafs. Sure. Oh, just more headaches. But I still love you, Wayne. Still love you. We all know you want to come to Toronto. We all know this. These are one of the many facts I'm about to spit out. But this we know this. You and I, we get it. Anyways, here's some more fun facts about the great one, the 99, Mr. Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky, he was good from the start. In the first 5 years of his Pee Wee hockey career, playing for his hometown team, the Bradford Nadrovsky Steelers, the young Gretzky notched an impressive 369 goals, which is made even more impressive by the fact that he had done it by the time he was 10. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember playing with Ghostbuster toys when I was 10. Already he knows how to skate, and he's already scoring more goals than most players. This is insane. I mean, wow. Now, Gretzky made 50 and more in 50. Let me explain. It's extraordinary when a player can score more than 50 goals in just one season. But how about doing it in their first 50 games? In his second season for the Oilers, Gretzky scored and surpassed 50 goals in 50 games, previously achieved by Montreal Canadiens legend Maurice "Rocket" Richard in the 1944-1945 season, and New York Islanders winger Mike Bossy in the 1980-1981 season. Gretzky's achievement is even more impressive when you factor in that he scored his 50 goals within the first 39 games of the season. Gretzky finished that season with 92 goals, an NHL record, and would hit the 50 in 50 mark twice more in the following 2 seasons with the Oilers. Ladies and gentlemen, most players are lucky if they can just shoot a couple times and hope for the best in an average hockey game. This stat is amazing, and I don't think anyone's beat it. I don't know if anybody will ever beat it. Time will tell. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, Wayne Gretzky is a very proud Canadian, and for that, the Canadians of Canada, obviously, treated him like royalty. When Wayne Gretzky tied the knot with his girlfriend, Janet Jones, who he met while he was a celebrity judge on a dance contest show called Dance Fever. Does anybody remember that show? I didn't think so. People of Edmonton went crazy and dubbed the event the Royal Wedding. Thousands of Edmontonians lined the streets that led the over 600 wedding guests to St. Joseph's Basilia, where the couple were wed in a lavish ceremony. Music was played by the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Jones's wedding ring allegedly cost $250,000, a mere drop in the bucket for Mr. Wayne Gretzky. He's got money to spare. And her dress, $40,000. Rumored has it that Gretzky even ordered crates of champagne costing $3,000 a bottle. The great one spared no expense. Now, when you're Gretzky and you're called the Great One and you're right 99 times out of 100, you got to do it big. It's just expected. And you know, Edmonton, people are just going to party. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be cold. It doesn't matter. The point is, you know, he did it big. And years later, now he's got a beautiful daughter who they have nicknamed the Hot One. Wayne, don't get mad at me. Blame the internet. And she's acted in a couple movies. And yeah, all is well in the Gretzky kingdom. He has an unofficial rule named after him. Now, even this I didn't know. In the 1980s, Gretzky and his fellow Edmonton Oilers teammates, including future Hall of Famers Mark Messier, Glenn Anderson, Paul Coffey, and Grant Fuhr. Again, how the fuck can you not have this lineup and kick ass? Anyways, I'm sorry. Go hockey. Were so dominant that they won the Stanley Cup 4 times in 5 years from 1984 to 1988. I said it before, and yes, I said it again, because that's how much they kicked ass. Part of that success was due to their on-ice command of 4-on-4 situations, where the minor penalties given to both teams would put a player from each team in the penalty box, because Gretzky and the Oilers were so good in small numbers on the ice, the NHL enacted the new rule become the Gretzky rule, forcing teams to play at full strength despite the called penalties. The rule has since been revoked, but lives on in spirit in overtime when teams play at 4-on-4 strength to potentially garner faster goals. This is pretty awesome. But you know what would be even more awesome? If I play a pro line and after 3 periods, it's considered a tie. I want to see some 4-on-4 hockey. That's cool. I get it. I just want to win more money. But anyways, when he was traded, the Canadian government got involved.
Bum, bum, bum.
In the annals, sorry, I always laugh when I see that word. Anyways, of hockey history, it is simply known as the trade. But to many people, there wasn't anything simple about it. On August 9th, 1988, 3 months after winning the Stanley Cup with the Oilers, Gretzky was traded to the Los Angeles Kings. As I mentioned before, it was a blow to the Canadians, that's what she said, and such a big deal that Nelson Riis, R-I-I-S, got it, a member of the Canadian Parliament and new Democratic Party House leader, formally demanded in the Canadian House of Commons that the Prime Minister, Brian Mulroney, block the trade from happening. Unfortunately, there was nothing the Canadian government could do about it. And the trade, which involved Gretzky and teammates Marty McSorley and Mike Krushelnyski, former Leaf, got his autograph on a card, for players Jimmy Carson and Martin Gelinas. Gelinas. Yep. $15 million in cash. And first-round draft picks in 1989, 1991, and 1993 was approved by the NHL. Ladies and gentlemen, I grew up in the 90s, and I remember Brian Mulroney. He told us he was going to take away taxes. He didn't obviously do that. So what makes you think he can keep Wayne Gretzky in Canada? Okay, that's, Malaka. Hockey wasn't the only sport Gretzky was involved in. Though hockey was the only sport he personally played at the professional level, Gretzky was one of the owners of the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League, also known as the CFL. Whether it was a mere hobby or a savvy business venture, Gretzky became a minority owner of the football team in 1991, along with controversial Los Angeles Kings owner Bruce McNall and the actor and one of my personal favorites of all time, the late great John Candy. Rest in peace. Gretzky's name was even etched into the Grey Cup, the CFL's champion trophy, following the team's championship victory in the first year of his ownership. Well, there you go. Greatness follows him wherever he goes. And that was a cool time. Like, I remember being a Torontonian back in the day. I don't know why I just said that, because I still am. But anyways, yeah, I mean, that was like, that's when the Argos were the Argos. I mean, you know, I'm not saying they're not good now, but I'm just saying it was a good time at that time to be a football fan in Toronto. He fought crime with Michael Jordan and Bo Jackson in a Saturday morning cartoon. Holy shit, I almost forgot about this. You know what? I don't even have to read the notes on this one. I'm basically just going to tell you how it is. I mean, I probably will because I'm lazy, but yeah, back in the early 90s, it just seemed like there was this cartoon explosion of like actors, athletes. MC Hammer even had a cartoon. That's right. If you don't know who MC Hammer is, he had the one hit. The fuck was it called? I forgot. Too Legit to Quit. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was obviously Can't Touch This. Okay? Back in the day, he made a lot of money with it. Now he'd be a YouTube star. I don't know. You get money from YouTube. I still understand how that shit works. The point is, that's why I'm on SoundCloud. The point is that somebody came up with this crazy concept of making a cartoon involving Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, and Bo Jackson. Now, if you don't know who Michael Jordan is, fuck off. If you don't know who Bo Jackson is, fuck off. These guys were basically the elite of the sports world. And the show was called Pro Stars. Pro Stars. It's all about helping kids. And you know, it started off with, you know, the theme, making fun of "We Will Rock You" by Queen. You know, we are pro stars. Boom, boom, you know. And this cartoon, I mean, like back in the day, you know, when you're a kid, you know, you think, okay, this is the shit, and then, you know, you grow up and you're like, oh, this is shit, you know. And it was just a crazy cartoon. Like, they were basically all like not even superheroes. I mean, they were just themselves. They dealt with some kind of, you know, superhero organization or some shit. I don't know. And, for some reason, like in the opening credits, I don't know, they lived in lockers for some reason. I don't know. And, you know, they took orders from this little old woman. And I mean, again, I'm not trying to be racist here, guys, but I mean, like, if this is not like a stereotype old Jewish woman, I don't know what is. You know, and she would just like give them like all these like cool gadgets. You know, it's kind of like when you watch a James Bond movie, and you know, you got John Cleese there, you know, helping you know, Bond out there, and you know, oh, okay, yeah, here's the watch, here's a thing, you know, but you know, instead they'd be like, oh, here's a hockey stick, here's a basketball, here's a football, but it shoots rockets for some reason. And I don't know, they would fight all these weird villains that were clearly insecure with themselves as a kid. And then for some reason they, you know, threw in another woman there. I don't know if it was the Jewish woman's daughter, and I don't know if one of them was trying to go out with the other one. I don't know. It was just, this cartoon's insane. It really is. It's all over the place, but you know, I love it. I loved it. I still love it. I don't care. It's classic 90s at its best. I don't know how many seasons or episodes it lasted. I whatever. But it was cool. It's definitely worth checking out if you want a good laugh. Also during the show, they would have little snippets of like Wayne Gretzky and Bo Jackson, just giving, little pieces of advice, or I don't know, kids asking them questions and stuff, like, hey, do you like hockey? Or, just stupid shit. I don't know. And although I did find it interesting that one question they did ask Wayne Gretzky is like, what do you eat before a game? And he said, I like to load up on carbs. I have a big bowl of pasta. So, as a fellow Italian, he's not Italian, is he? No, he can't be. Well, the original Italians had blonde hair. I don't know. Anyways, the point is, that's cool. You got a carbo load, just like Michael Scott did in, The Office. Hopefully you don't throw it up like he did. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. It's a good laugh. Keep in mind, none of them put the voices in themselves. This was just a pure cash grab, I'm assuming. Yeah, check it out. Pro Stars. Anyways, he was a captain or alternate captain all his life until he played for the New York Rangers. After being traded to the St. Louis Blues for a one-year stint in the 1995-96 season, the Great One moved east and made his debut with the Broadview Blue Shirts, starting in 1996. But he was missing something. Throughout his entire career, Edmonton to Los Angeles to St. Louis, Gretzky wore the Captain C on his sweater, but not in the Big Apple. That distinction belonged to his former Oiler teammate, Mark Messier, who led the team as its captain with alternates Brian Leetch and Adam Graves. Sometimes being the Great One doesn't come with its perks. Great. Listen, Mark Messier had the nickname of the Moose, and there's a reason for that. As you can, see on YouTube in his great commercials for Lay's potato chips. If you fuck with him, he's going to fuck with you. Now, I'm sure they were very good friends, but in a one-on-one fight, it's pretty obvious who's going to take on who. Just putting that out there. But I'm just fucking around. I'm sure Wayne Gretzky had a lot of respect for Mark Messier, and it's just like, you know what? You can have it. It's cool. No worries. As long as the check clears, I'm good. 2 national anthems were changed, if only once, for him. All good things, as they say, must come to an end. And the illustrious career of Wayne Douglas Gretzky came to an end in a 2-1 overtime loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins at Madison Square Gardens on April 18th, 1999. Now, again, do you think that was planned the whole 99? I mean, that's again, some shit is just written. Anyways, though the game was between 2 American teams, both American and Canadian national anthems were played to honor Gretzky, but instead of the regular lyrics to the Canadian anthem, singer Bryan Adams sang, "We're gonna miss you, Wayne Gretzky," instead of "We stand on guard for thee." Cuts like a knife, but it feels alright. Summer of 69. Okay, see again, the 9, the 16. Okay, forget it. For the Star Spangled Banner, longtime anthem performer for the Rangers, John Amirante, I hope I say that right, sang "O'er the Land of Wayne Gretzky" in place of "O'er the Land of the Free." Now, I've never heard that in any aspect of sports. I mean, that is, I gotta say, that's pretty cool. So, to be able to, I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, because usually, like when people fuck up the anthem, they give them shit for that, or they do an alternate thing, like, oh, it's not the same, it's not patriotic, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Listen, he's the great one. Okay? That was a huge honor. I think that's awesome. Anything I do, I do it for Gretzky. Pro Stars. Why didn't they sing that song? Anyways, yeah, and this is what makes Wayne Gretzky the great one. 99. Who didn't love this guy? Well, apparently, when he scored all those goals when he was just 10 years old, apparently a lot of people considered him a puck hog, and they even booed him, which is something, I mean, I don't know if this is just the nice guy in me, the Canadian in me, but, I mean, how can you boo a 10-year-old, man? That's just cold, I mean, if you see the Chucky doll, okay, yeah, boo him. But, I mean, come on, man. That's, I mean, the guy's just kicking ass. What are you going to do? I mean, he's 10. He's still, learning. Come on, man. And he even said here, the pressure was so intense, a 13-year-old Gretzky considered quitting hockey. But for the next season, his parents arranged for him to move to and play in Toronto, in part to get away from the negativity of his spotlight. That's how bad it was, man. I mean, thank God he went to Toronto. I mean, hey, Wayne, we love you here, man. You can do whatever you want here, okay? You got the pass, all right? But I mean, that's how bad it was, man. I mean, holy shit. I mean, I mean, like, can you imagine if, like, that happened today? Like, if you find, okay, like, this 10-year-old phenomenon is going to be, like, the next big thing, whatever. Like, online, like, people would troll him to death. And, like, a 10-year-old, back in the day, or I should say back in the day, would obviously feel it. But even now, like, we feel it more because, social media and shit, man. I mean, listen, you see a 10-year-old kicking ass, just promote him, okay? Tell him he's doing a good job. Don't, boo him. Like, come on, man. Yeah, come on. You're better than that. He wanted to play baseball first. What the fuck? Baseball? Huh. At 13, Gretzky pitched for Bradford at a 1973 Pee Wee baseball tournament. In fact, the hockey legend wanted to be a baseball player first. I would have taken baseball all day long, Gretzky told Dan Patrick in 2017. Revealing his preferred position was shortstop. I grew up such a big Tigers fan. Really, Wayne? You couldn't be a Blue Jay fan? Really? Anyways. Soap operas came calling. What? The fuck is all that? Okay. Anyways, Gretzky loved soap operas. And in November 1981, he made a guest appearance on The Young and the Restless, playing a mobster. Sorry, as an Italian, I have to laugh at that. Introduced as This Is Wayne out of Edmonton Operation. The fuck? Come on, really? Yeah. We all know how mobbed up Edmonton is. I'm sorry. This is bullshit. Come on, really? Come on, man. I mean, all right. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the picture. He looks like, like Ryan Gosling threw his hair out. Which, by the way, if you think about it, if they ever make a movie based on Wayne Gretzky, I mean, now would be the time. I mean, you put Ryan Gosling in there and you're set. Isn't he from Bradford, too? I mean, all these guys are from Bradford, and Justin Bieber, and I don't know, all these, okay. In the scene, he was bantering with Melody Thomas Scott, who was playing Nikki Reed. And here's the script. Wayne, sure could use some of your class around home, Nikki. Then Nikki said, thank you. Are you just visiting, Mr. And then Wayne said, call me Wayne. Everybody does. Well, okay. Well, you know what? This has got me even more curious to see what other acting he's done. Okay, so after that, according to IMDb here, he did Voices That Care, a little video short there, Voices That Care, called, okay. Ironically, I mentioned MC Hammer before. He was in the MC Hammer video, Too Legit to Quit. Was he really? I don't remember. I don't know, fuck. What? I think that video was like 10 minutes or something, and it cost like, I don't know, $3-4 million, which is insane. I mean, yeah. Well, I don't remember him in that. Okay. D2, The Mighty Ducks. Honestly, I don't remember him in that either. I mean, I remember Paul Correa doing commentary, stiff as a board. But yeah, all right. Then he was in something else called Robot Tropolis. Played additional soccer players. Okay. Yeah. And then his last credit was in an episode of The Simpsons in 2016. The Nightmare After Christmas. Okay, I'm assuming that's got something to do with Krusty the Clown. I've watched The Simpsons in like 20 years, so I don't know. There you go. But like I said, he's known for being a hockey player, not an actor. He got his feet wet a little bit there. That's cool. Couple extra bucks on the side, why not? Andy Warhol painted his portrait. Now, for those of you who don't know who Andy Warhol is, he's a kick-ass painter. Andy Warhol was commissioned in 1983 to paint a series of Gretzky portraits. According to Sports Illustrated, Warhol was a New York Rangers fan, but this did not cause any friction. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to apologize for that sound. Sometimes when I record a podcast, you record some superstar about hockey, and a Zamboni will just drive by. I apologize. Let me do this again. Can we get a count? 3, 2, 1. Thank you. But this didn't cause any friction between the artist and the Oilers superstar. Warhol told the CBC that year, "He's more than a hockey player. He's an entertainer." Ah, there you go. Okay. He watched Young and the Restless too. Cool. His fuel, hot dogs, and Diet Coke. The breakfast of champions. Gretzky told people in 1982, "I play best on 4 hot dogs with mustard and onions." Sometimes you get a really fast Zamboni. Holy shit. Guys, really? Anyways, he wasn't joking. The NHL's leading all-time scorer told Graham Bensinger in 2016, depending on the city we were in Chicago, there'd be a pizza in the building. In Quebec City, there would be hot dogs. Gretzky added, "In those days, we didn't have power bars. Energy drinks, for me, I drank Diet Coke. That was the same sort of stimulation as an energy drink. Eats like a fat man, looks like Prince Charming. Some guys have all the luck." Anyways, Gretzky was babysitting Robin Thicke when he found out about the trade. Gretzky, along with his wife Janet, was house sitting at his friend Alan Thicke's house when the trade to Los Angeles was finalized. According to TSN, Kings owner Bruce McNow called the house asking for Gretzky. The 11-year-old who picked up wasn't sure if he was admit that Gretzky was staying there. The 11-year-old was Alan's son, Robin, now a successful singer, songwriter, and record producer. You don't know who Robin Thicke is? He's the guy who did Blurred Lines, which apparently, if you listen to the lyrics of that song, is actually a really fucked up song. But anyways, yeah. I've heard, this is as a side note, okay? I don't know if you're going to find this anywhere. I'm telling you what I heard through the grapevine, okay? I'm not saying that Wayne Gretzky didn't know how to party, but I'm pretty sure the guy knew how to party, Okay, when you're in LA, when you're in Edmonton, it doesn't matter where you are. When you're a superstar in the NHL, you know how to party. And he was very good friends with Alan Thicke. Now, there's apparently some story with him and his wife and Alan Thicke and his wife at the time. They were chilling in a hot tub. I don't have to fill in the gaps here. You know what I'm about to say. I'm just saying this is what I've heard. I don't know. Allegedly, this could have happened. Something may. I don't know. I don't know. Okay? Hot tubs can be very fun. That's all I'm going to say. After going to Hollywood, he went live from New York. It's Saturday Night Live. In 1989, Gretzky became the first hockey player to host Saturday Night Live, but he was the last to know that he was hosting SNL. Years later, Gretzky told Conan O'Brien, "I was on an airplane flying from LA to Kentucky to watch the Kentucky Derby, as most people do in Kentucky. I was reading the paper and it said Wayne Gretzky to host Saturday Night Live. I just pulled down the paper and looked at my wife and said, 'No!' I don't know if he said it like that, but you know. Gretzky had turned down the invitation to host the show, but Janet Gretzky called SNL executive producer Lorne Michaels to confirm his appearance. He was happy, she said. During the 14th season show, Wayne stopped by Wayne's World, of course, excellent, and showed off his comedic chops. That's what she said. Now, I know I said that already, but in Wayne's World, they also said it. And this time, no bell. Money wasn't everything. Now, I know I made some jokes before about Wayne Gretzky, taking a couple paychecks here and there, but of course, as the great Jay-Z and Jermaine Dupri said, money ain't a thing. On April 15th, 1999, Gretzky officially announced his retirement. But the day before, Rangers owner James Dolan begged Gretzky to reconsider. Dolan puts his money where his mouth was, offering Gretzky $1 million to take a week to think about it. That's it. Just take a week. Here's $1 million. Gretzky would be allowed to keep the money no matter his final decision. Gretzky told Dolan in good conscience, "I just can't take your money because I know I'm done." Gretzky joked to Ben Singer in 2016, "It was the dumbest thing I've ever done," right? But that's just how classy the organization was. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Wayne. I would have taken the money. There's no doubt in my mind. I would have absolutely taken it. I would hear back in the day, Brando would just read scripts for $100,000, just to consider it. This one involved $1 million, and you literally had to do nothing. So, yeah, but I get it. Wayne Gretzky's a classy guy. Always gave props to the organization, of New York. So, there you go. You stay classy, Rangers. So he taught Michael Jordan how to tip in Las Vegas. Now, for those of you who don't know, Michael Jordan, I've heard, is a notorious bad tipper. It's not so much I feel he doesn't tip. I heard he doesn't even bring his wallet anywhere. He doesn't pay for shit. But apparently Wayne Gretzky taught him a few things. Former vice president of the Hard Rock Hotel, Rich Strafella, tells the story. "I remember a night when Wayne Gretzky insulted Michael Jordan at the table. It was a private saloon game. Michael had ordered a drink from the cocktail waitress, and he gave her a $5 chip. Wayne took it off the cocktail waitress's tray, gave it back to Michael, grabbed a $100 chip from Michael's stack, and put it on the cocktail waitress's tray. Then he said, 'That's how we tip in Las Vegas, Michael.'" Wow. Listen, man, I get it. We all got to save money. You know what? You got to give Michael Jordan a little bit of credit. Maybe he thought it was a $50, $100 chip. I don't know. I mean, but then again, wow. Huh. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie to you. I always thought that, and my dad thought this too, that Wayne Gretzky always played with a very cheap, very thin helmet, because he knew he wasn't going to get hit. But this might be the cheapest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, I would never have the balls to be that rich and pay just $5. I'm just saying, Mike, I love you, bud, but come on, man. I mean, did you guys not get money together from that cartoon? I'm just saying, come on. Still being the great one, but Muhammad Ali made sure to let him know that there was somebody greater. Of course, he was talking about himself. Gretzky told Dan Patrick about the first time he met the greatest in 1983, laughing. He came into the locker room and said he was looking for the great one because I'm not the great one, because he's the greatest of all time. That's fair enough by me, and good for you. To this day, the hockey legend remains a class act. Of course, Muhammad Ali was a big jokester. He knew that. He knew Gretzky was number one. Speaking of number one, ladies and gentlemen, I've never played a game of ice hockey. I know that there's a lot of things that you got to put on, and I didn't even think that when you got to go, you got to go. And that's exactly what Wayne Gretzky did. During a game, Wayne Gretzky pissed his pants. That's right, people. The great one went number one. Sorry. In the 1987 Canada Cup brought together the best players from two international powerhouses, Canada and the Soviet Union, for the memorable 3-game championship series. Some people consider Game 2 to be the greatest hockey game ever played. Gretzky had 5 assists as Canada pulled it out in double overtime, 6-5. Ladies and gentlemen, as long as you score goals in this life, you can piss your pants as much as you want. He even told Howard Stern that when he did it, he told everyone. And he even said, it felt pretty good. Once again, Mr. 99, I'm right there with you. Now, Wayne Gretzky is just a simple man like you and me. I'm sure he's got insecurities and fears and all that. Even during the Howard Stern interview, they made a point in saying that he always tucks in his jersey on the left side. And he did that because when he was 6 years old, he was playing with 11-year-olds. And the jersey was so big, it would just drag. So he'd have to obviously tuck it in. And it's a superstition that he has. He admits that. I think that makes him even cooler. That, to be honest with you, I did notice that a couple times, but not really. I mean, I never really thought about it, why he tucked in his jersey on the one side. I guess that's true. I mean, I got enough hockey cards to prove that. But, yeah, I mean, I think that makes Wayne Gretzky even cooler, I mean, the guy was a leader on the ice. Great goal scorer. Always, helping out fellow teammates, I mean, created so many great memories, not just for Canadians, just for everybody. I mean, he made the game of hockey cool. And I mean, worldwide cool. He was an all-star off and on the ice. I mean, he was a huge celebrity. So, I just want to say thank you, Mr. Wayne Gretzky, for all the great memories. Not that 1993 memory. Man, dude, I wish you played as a Leaf. I mean, I think deep down you wanted to play as a Leaf. And anyways, I'm not going to get into that. I know. I'm just saying, thank you very much for being a cool guy and bringing some class to the game of hockey. Because a lot of people thought it was just all goons and, I mean, he was a class act all the way. And I got a friend of mine that ran into him and he said he was just the nicest guy. And that's what a lot of people always think, when they think of Wayne Gretzky. Number 99, the great one.